Are we live? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Salika Morrison, and it is my pleasure to be your moderator this evening, this afternoon for our orientation. It is the academic orientation for our new incoming students at the Mico University College. Before we proceed, I must share I must share brief housekeeping reminders with you. As this is a virtual session, please remember that your microphones must be muted. For those of us who are on Zoom, you are invited, unless of course you're invited to speak. We also encourage you to give your full attention to each presenter this afternoon. Critical information will be given to you. And so we want to ensure that next week, when you come in to begin your classes, you will be furnished, you will have been furnished with all the information you need. We also encourage you to ensure that you take notes. You will be receiving feedback today that you will definitely need throughout your program of study. So please make notes where necessary. If you have questions during the presentations, please place them in the chat. Of course, there will be a Q&A session, and of course, you may reserve your questions for that moment. But if it's a burning question, you may place it in the chat because, of course, it will be monitored by someone here. We will address each question as the program allows. Should the questions arise, of course, during the presentations, as I mentioned before, please ensure that you make a note of them so that you don't forget what you want to be clarified. This afternoon is really about helping you to understand how to navigate university life successfully. And of course, this orientation is not simply an event that tells you where things are. It is an introduction to how the institution works or culture, what drives the legacy of the Mico, and importantly, how you can make the institution work for you and how you can incorporate your talents and your skills into contributing to the legacy of the Mico. So I encourage you that as you listen this evening, listen actively and take advantage of the guidance being offered. Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by Dr. Albert Benjamin. Dr. Benjamin, you're on, right? The Vice President of Academic Affairs. Let me go back to my program here. Yes, so we are joined by Dr. Albert Benjamin, or Vice President of Academic Affairs, and he will bring for you the welcome. Excuse me, bringing up my program. Of course, as new students, one of the most important things you can receive at the beginning of your journey of starting this journey of at the Mico University College is a clear understanding of the academic community that you're about to enter into and the expectations and opportunities that accompany membership in this community. So Dr. Albert Benjamin will bring the official welcome as the representation of all things academic at the Mico University College so that you can have an idea of the academic atmosphere into which you are now entering. Dr. Benjamin, the virtual floor is yours.
Mrs. Morrison, thank you so much. And I want to thank all the organizers for this orientation event. Particularly thank you to Mrs. Joy Baker Gibson, who is the Senior Dean who helped to coordinate the elements for this afternoon. But I must begin, first of all, of course, by saying good afternoon to all of us. Good afternoon, colleagues. Good afternoon, all members of staff. And most importantly, to our new students. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to the Mico University College and to the beginning of a journey that will shape not only your future, but also the futures of many persons whom you have not yet met. In Mark chapter 4, Jesus tells the parable of the sower and the seeds. I'm sure it's not new to you here. Jesus spoke about the same seed being scattered, but some seeds, but different seeds fell on different kinds of ground. Some fell along the path and were taken away and eaten by birds. Some fell on rocky ground where they sprung up quickly, but they did not have much root, so they eventually died. Some fell among thorns and weeds and were eventually choked, but some seeds fell on good soil, took root, grew, and produced a harvest far greater than the seeds that were originally sown. As you begin your studies, you are both the soil and the soul. You are the soil because this institution will place before you knowledge, discipline, opportunities, correction, and new ways of seeing the world. But what these produce will depend partly upon the condition of the soil. Talent alone is not good enough. Enthusiasm without discipline may spring up quickly and disappear just as quickly. Distraction, fear, and complacency can choke even the finest potential. You must therefore cultivate yourselves, developing intellectual curiosity, personal discipline, humility, and resilience, so that what is planted in you can take root. But as I said, you are also preparing to become sowers. As teachers, you will plant ideas, values, confidence, and possibility in the minds of others. You may not always see the harvest. A sentence spoken to a discouraged student may bear fruit years later. A lesson taught with care may awaken a vocation. Your belief in a child may become the beginning of that child's belief in him or herself. So as you enter this profession, and you enter this profession at a remarkable moment. We are almost tired now of hearing about artificial intelligence, which we know can retrieve information, generate explanations, prepare exercises, and perform in seconds tasks that once required hours to do. But this does not make the teacher irrelevant. In fact, it makes the true purpose of the teacher even clearer. AI can generate content, but it cannot assume moral responsibility, which for me is the highest intellectual pursuit. It cannot form a human being. It can provide an answer, but it cannot fully discern the fear behind a student's silence. It can stimulate encouragement, but it cannot stand before a child as a living example of courage, integrity, compassion, and hope. Your task, therefore, is not to compete with technology. It is to become more fully human in your practice, to use technology intelligently, question it critically, and place it in the service of human flourishing. So in the age of AI, information may be abundant, but wisdom, character, and moral judgment will remain indispensable. So as you begin, prepare the soil of your own lives. Receive what is planted here with seriousness. Develop strong roots. Resist the thorns of distraction and mediocrity. then go forward as thoughtful, faithful souls, understanding that every learner entrusted to you is ground of immeasurable possibility. So again, welcome to the Mico University College. May your time here produce a rich harvest in your lives, in your future classrooms, and in the nation you are being prepared to serve. Before I go, I want to also introduce to you some key persons who are going to assist you in your development here at the Mico University College. They operate in what we operate in here in what we call faculties. We have three undergraduate faculties, the School of Continuing Studies and the Graduate School of Education. All of you here will be in one of the three faculties I will now name. We are the Faculty of Education, the Faculty of Humanities and Liberal Arts, the Faculty of Science and Technology. The Faculty of Education delivers 4 programs: Bachelor of Education in Primary Education, Bachelor of Education in Early Childhood Education, Bachelor of Education in Special Education, and Bachelor of Education, of course, in Physical Education. We have Mr. Miller in the room. The leader of this faculty, the dean of the faculty, we refer to our academic leaders as deans in the faculties, is none other than Mr. Leroy Ferron, Dean of the Faculty of Education. We have the Faculty of Humanities and Liberal Arts. The dean of that faculty is Mrs., which I don't think she's here today, but she is, I have a senior moment here. Remind me someone.
Nadine.
Mrs. Nadine Logan Ashley. Oh, thank you all so much. Mrs. Nadine Logan Ashley. And she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 programs in her faculty. Bachelor of Education, Secondary Education, specialization in business, and they're all bachelors of education. So one is specializing in business, specializing in history and culture, specializing in language and literacy, specialization in language and literature, specialization in music, specialization in social studies, specialization in visual arts, and specialization in guidance and counseling. And the other faculty, Science and Technology, the dean of this faculty is Mrs. Joy Baker Gibson. And there are a few, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 programs here. Bachelor of Education in Secondary Science Education, specialization in biology, chemistry, and physics. Bachelor of Education in Computer Science, Bachelor of Education in Family and Consumer Science, Bachelor of Education in Geography and Environmental Studies, Bachelor of Education in Industrial Technology, and Bachelor of Education in Mathematics. So there you have the 3 very able and compassionate colleagues who will be guiding you through your work here and development in these 3 faculties. Again, Mrs. Logan Ashley, Mr. Leroy Ferron, and Mrs. Joy Baker Gibson. We have also schools, as I mentioned, schools of continuing studies and the Graduate School of Education. The School of Continuing Studies is led by Mrs. Delia Snowball, and the Graduate School of Education is led by Dr. Rosemary Heath. You, of course, will be meeting these persons soon in the upcoming days. Again, welcome to the Mico University College.
Thank you, Dr. Benjamin. I heard some key words used earlier, and terms, of course, resist mediocrity. I heard the word compassion in his description of the deans of the faculties. And that is definitely one of the things we're known for at the Mico University College. We're known for compassion. And that is quite natural. We are, in fact, the premier teacher training institution in the Western Hemisphere. And of course, it means, therefore, that we have to embody what we want to see in the education system. So thank you very much for that, Dr. Benjamin. Your academic journey at the Mico University College is not just about the X's and O's, but
You're welcome.
everything else that comes along with you growing into the educators who are going to go out there and not just teach the curriculum, but to care for the nation's children. Ladies and gentlemen, we now turn. Oh, and by the way, I must also ensure that I remind you of the significance of Dr. Benjamin's message about AI. This is a conversation we will continuously have, and the Mico University College is prepared to help you to navigate this age of AI. AI is not going to replace us. We're going to use AI as a tool where necessary, and use it not just as a tool, but use it ethically. We now turn our attention to something that will become an essential part of your daily academic experience: navigating the Mico eCampus. If university life is a journey, then knowing how to navigate the institution's digital systems in 2026 is a little like knowing how to read a map. And of course, generations after me don't know how to read maps. You have Google Maps. Life has been made easier for you, but thankfully you don't have to go through the difficulty of reading the Mico eCampus map on your own. You don't want to wait, ladies and gentlemen, until an assignment is due to discover that you do not know how to find something on eCampus. And I find that impossible as well, because you will have classes that are linked to eCampus to guide you through this important area of your college life. We have Mrs. Jacqueline Howell-Williams, the acting director of the Mico Online. Mrs. Howell-Williams will help you become familiar with the eCampus and the systems that you need to navigate your academic responsibilities. Mrs. Howell-Williams, we're pleased to have you. Over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am delighted. I'm sorry, I realize you're not seeing my face. Let me fix that. Coming. There you go. Yes. I am delighted to be with you this evening. I want to welcome you to the Mico University, the best university college in this hemisphere. And I know without a certainty that you are going to definitely enjoy your experience here. We have a wonderful pool, cadre of persons who will be interfacing with you and ensuring that you are equipped for the journey and that you will do exceptionally well. So welcome, everyone. Now, I want to say congratulations to you all. According to the statistics, only about 1 in 4 Jamaicans of tertiary education age is enrolled in tertiary education. Your place here represents a very important opportunity. I want to encourage you to value it, persist, and make it count. You are change agents who will be equipped to impact, influence, and improve the world around you. It was the great Nelson Mandela who said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. We know that you're going to change the world, and you have started on this journey with us at the Mico to ensure that you are educated to do just that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as a university college, we are happy to have you. And we are looking forward to working with you for what would be the best 4 years of your life. Investment in self by means of education is always the best decision to make. Franklin Benjamin said, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. As you embark on this journey, take it one day at a time. Before you know it, you will be in your fourth year preparing to exit the university college. The journey will not always be easy, but I can assure you that it is manageable. The programs have been designed just for you to help you to maximize your potentials, to challenge and stretch your intellectual prowess. This, however, is only achievable if you remain focused, committed, persistent, and resilient. Welcome, everyone. No, your online journey starts here. Whether you'll be doing a program face to face, blended, or fully online, eCampus will be an important part of your learning experience. You will realize, even though you may not have signed up for a fully online program, as you do your other programs, you will experience the opportunity of working online. In that, there are some courses in your program that may be offered online. So it's very important for you to understand how to operate in the online space. Online learning allows for flexibility in that you can learn anywhere, anytime. It allows you to be connected. If it is that you are a student to ensure that you are involved in the discussions, then you will be given the opportunity to collaborate, though not face to face, with the students in your class, and together you will grow. You will be empowered. You will have access to resources that will inspire you. And while there will be a plethora of resources that you will have access to, it's important that you remain focused because the distractions are there. Stay committed, achieve your goals. Now, I just want to give you a little of our Mico online journey, the history of Mico online, so you can understand that we are ready to serve you and serve you well. Now, in 2014, the Mico University pioneered 3 blended courses, establishing an early foundation for online learning, and that was before COVID. In 2014, between 2014 and 19, we expanded to 60 plus blended courses, and we had 2 graduate programs being offered online. And so we started this online offering of service, not because of the emergency mode that came as a result of COVID, but we were futuristic in our thoughts, and it was our intention to offer online courses. So we were prepared when COVID came. We transitioned to full online operations within 2 weeks. Why? Because 85% of our academic staff had already received training in online teaching and learning, and we had the expertise and the infrastructure in place, so it was easy for us to transition to online operation. Now, post-COVID, we are now offering fully online graduate courses. We have one fully online mathematics program. I'm sure persons in this room would have signed up for that program. We have expanded online and blended undergrad courses. So we have more undergrad courses being offered online. And for that reason, I said earlier, even though you may not have signed up for a fully online program, you will experience online. And so we continue to develop our online short courses. There are several short courses that we offer online. What are our future plans? We are building on more that we have, more on what we had before. We are building on a decade of online experience that we had, and we are strengthening our digital capacity, quality assurance, and innovative online pedagogy. So we are positioned to expand the field, and we have the technology ready to take us to where we want to go. So we are ready. Now, today's classroom has changed. We know today that technology transfigure the traditional face-to-face brick and mortar classroom to a virtual space. And so at the Mico, And in other institutions that offer online learning, the learning management system that persons may be exposed to will be Google Classroom. For us here at the Mico, we use the Moodle, and you'll hear more about that as I go on. Now, instead of having face-to-face classes, we have synchronous and asynchronous classes. Synchronous represents the live classes where you are going to be in a Zoom room and you will have your facilitator and the other members of your class in the same space and you will interact, right? And for asynchronous sessions, work will be placed on the Moodle platform and you go on and you access and you do your work and you submit your work to your facilitators. Now, in this new dispensation, assessment and feedback, of course, takes on a new complexion. So what you're going to be experiencing will be online quizzes, auto grading tools. So as soon as you do your quiz there, you will be able to see the grades and you'll get timely feedback, which will help you to track your progress and to improve continuously. Now, in terms of student collaboration and communication, now you're going to be exposed to chat features where you can interact with each other. You will share documents, you will have discussion boards, you'll have group projects that will happen entirely online. So you will be connected with your peers and your lecturers. So that's what the new digital space looks like for online facilitation. Now, there are certain 21st century skills that you're going to need to be able to function optimally online. And so I want to just for a few minutes highlight the 4 C's, being communication, creativity, collaboration, critical thinking, and problem solving. Now, as students, you're expected to interact with your facilitator. So it's important for you to ask questions and your facilitator will provide feedback to whatever questions you will ask, whether it is in the synchronous or asynchronous session, so that you are guided as to what is expected of you. So it's important for you to not only come online, but participate, ask questions, and provide responses to questions that will be asked by your facilitator and your classmate. Of course, you're going to be expected to interact with each other using discussion forums. So you will be given activities there. There'll be times when you'll be asked to critique another student work or to comment on another student discussion posting. So there will be opportunities for interactions. And of course, the material that you will need for your classes will be shared online. You will have access to it. All right. In terms of collaboration, I would have somewhat touched it as I spoke about communication. But of course, you'll have to collaborate both in the synchronous space where you will all be in a Zoom room together in real time and you will be able to speak and get a response immediately. All right. In the asynchronous session, you'll be asked to collaborate on tasks and assignments. And so you'll have to use the chat, you will have to use the discussion forums to do so. Creativity. We're in an era, where students are very creative and there are tools there to help you to be creative. So think creatively. When you're given an assignment to present, think of how you can use online tools at your disposal to be creative and to make your presentation. And of course, we expect that you're going to think critically and you're going to be problem solvers. You're going to analyze, you're going to reflect, you're going to ask questions, and you are going to be problem solvers in that you are going to use the information at your disposal and you are going to troubleshoot. Now, as we facilitate and as we do classes online, there are certain etiquette that one must bear in mind. So what are the online etiquette that we wanted to bear in mind to ensure that the space is respectful and that you are having a very good time? We're expecting that you use respectful language, communicate with kindness and professionalism, avoid slang, offensive language, and of course, sarcasm. Arrive on time. Be punctual for your live sessions and come prepared to be involved in the discussion. In fact, according to the student handbook, you will be considered late for class if you come 10 minutes after the online session begin. So arrive on time. Participate constructively, share your ideas, listen respectfully and actively, and build on others' contribution. So when somebody make a contribution, you can, elaborate, you can extend the conversation and remain focused and stay on topic. No, of course, you're expected to follow your lecturer instructions. Read the announcement. When I go through the Moodle platform, there is a segment there for announcements. It's important that you read that you know what is expected of you. Follow guidelines given and make sure you meet all the course requirements. And of course, last but by no means least, practice responsible digital citizenship. Protect privacy. Cite sources. Please do not plagiarize. Respect copyright and avoid sharing inappropriate content. Now, completing and submitting assignment is going to be very important as you journey in this space, in educational institution of higher learning or any education institution, wherever. You submitting assignment on time and submitting your assignment according to the guidelines given is going to be of paramount importance. So it's important that you check instruction carefully. Read all the requirements, check the rubrics. You'll be given rubrics to guide to show you how it is the assignment will be graded. Pay attention to that. Make sure you understand what is expected. And that is where asking questions and providing feedback to ensure that you have clarity as to what is expected of you is important. Note deadlines. Be aware of due dates and times. Plan ahead to avoid last minute rush. Can I tell you, if it is that you wait for the very last minute, there is a great possibility that you may just face some challenges. It's important for you to plan ahead of time, pay attention to the due dates of your assignment and ensure that it is submitted on time. In fact, for the Moodle platform, when a time is set by the lecturer, and in many cases, it will be 11:55. If you go to the online platform to upload at 12, I'm sorry, it will not accept your work. So submitting on time is of paramount importance. Upload the correct file. Ensure you upload the correct file in the required format. Make sure it is not the draft work, but the finished work, right? That you have actually uploaded. Verify that the submission was successful. Look for the confirmation message or the status indicating that your submission was received. And I would want to recommend strongly that you retain the confirmation where available. Take a screenshot of it as a proof that your work was submitted, uploaded on time. Now, as students, there are certain roles and responsibilities you're going to be expected to undertake in order to be successful in your online journey. The first point I'd like to make as it relates to what are your roles and responsibilities, that you are to be, curious and ensure that you have the spirit of inquiry. Ask questions of your facilitator and prayers that will improve your participation. If you do not know, don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask questions for clarity. Ensure that you understand what is required of you. Read, research. And that is going to be important. I'm sure you'd have heard that you read for your degree. It's going to be important that you read the instructions, you read the reading assignments given, you do your research so that you will, when you write your paper, it will be, at a certain scholastic level and that you are representing yourself as well as you like to. Integrity and ethical practice is important. Use proper citation. You will be guided as to how you're to do your APA referencing. Do use it. Respect digital resources and avoid shortcuts such as dishonest use of AI tool. And we're going to talk about that some more. All right. Take charge of your learning. It is your responsibility, it's your investment. Do what is required of you. Your success is your reward. You want to make sure you would have done all that is required of you, all that is necessary to ensure that you are successful as you undertake your online courses. Become a proactive learner. Go beyond the required reading. Read as much as you can. Explore additional articles. When you go to your Moodle pages, you will see where the lecturers will provide articles for you to read, resources there, and there is a section for additional articles. Read the additional articles, watch videos, read case studies, right, to enrich your knowledge so that you can represent yourself well. And of course, develop an attitude to work. All right, you're a part of a community. Make sure that you have an accountability partner. Make sure that you know at least one other person in the community so that you can interact, you can share ideas. All right. Log on at least once per day for your async. You can log on and check your asynchronous sessions, right? Stay connected during the course of the day. That if there are any updates, any announcements, any new activities posted, you will be aware of it. Complete all course activities in your allotted class time. There is this tendency to procrastinate, and yes, it's asynchronous, so I can do it later. No, if your class is scheduled from 8 to 11, do the asynchronous work during that session. Don't wait until later, because I can guarantee you that there will be other things that you will have to do. Motivate your community, your classmates to stay the course ahead of the schedule, right? Encourage others. So yeah, let's do the assignment. Find out, how we're getting along as a class. I've always said to my students, there are enough A's for everyone. And I'm sure you want the persons who you'd have started this journey with. I'm sure you want all the persons in the class to complete the journey with you. Identify, collaborate with an accountability partner, as I mentioned before. Find someone in the class who you can work well with and trust each other to hold each other accountable, to remind you of the dates, to encourage you along the way. That really helps in this community. Ask questions of your facilitators and peers. Seek clarification, share ideas, learn from each other, and this will deepen your understanding. Now, as online learners, you are expected to ensure that you have the resources that you need to do well, right? So you're going to need a dependable device and internet. That is going to be very, very important. So you're going to work that out from now. Get your device, whether it's going to be a laptop, whether it's going to be a tablet, right? And ensure that you have a stable, dependable internet. Ensure that you develop the discipline and the self-regulation that you need. That when you need to log on, you log on. That's even when you're not having synchronous sessions, but asynchronous activities are there, that you're on doing the work that is required of you. It is going to be important that you organize yourself and that you motivate yourself. I'm going to tell you, there are going to be times when you're not going to feel like doing the work, but we are going to motivate ourselves, knowing very well that we want to succeed and we want to do it with our might, and you want to do well. Ensure that you develop good time management skills. Organize yourself, have a things to do, a daily to-do list, and ensure that you check it to make sure that you're on top of your tasks and you're doing what is required of you. Now, as I mentioned before, there are certain guidelines, there are certain rules that you are expected to adhere to as you do your courses online. And in regards to classroom attendance, I would have mentioned before, you are considered to be late for class if you arrive, if you join the session 10 minutes after the scheduled time. So be on time. You will be required to be in attendance for at least 80% of the synchronous sessions. And remember, the synchronous sessions are the live sessions that you have in the Zoom. And a little later, I would have mentioned, and I think I want to mention it now. Being present for the session doesn't mean that you just log on and then you're everywhere else. Being present for a session means that you're participating in a discussion, that you are asking questions, right? You must do 100% all of the asynchronous activities. That is what is required of you if you're going to consider being fully in attendance for a class and to be successful. No, attendance to class, as I mentioned before, is determined by active participation. Simple logging on doesn't mean that you'll be considered to be participating. It requires of you to be actively engaged and involved in the discussion. What does participation include? It means submission of assignments, completion of exams, attending online chats, posting in the discussions, and there'll be several discussion forums where you'll be given an opportunity to do so. Now, whilst you'll be having class online and you will not be physically coming for those classes on the campus, you are expected to dress appropriately. So what's the dress code? You should be professionally attired for class. Of course, your appearance reflects your attitude and your respect for your learning, right? You are expected to enable your camera for at least 30 minutes of the class. So at least for the first 30 minutes. And so you're going to have to dress appropriately. We do understand that there may be a difficulty for you to have your camera on for the entire duration of the class, 3 hours. Sometimes your bandwidth will not allow that. But at least for the first 30 minutes of the class, we expect that your camera will be on. All right. And when you are making your presentations, you are expected to turn your camera on so that we can know that it's really you who will be making those presentations. You are encouraged to have a profile picture, and we encourage you to have an appropriate one. Use a clear, respectful, and professional photo for your profile picture. Now, we're in a digital age, and so there will be access to many tools that can cause us to be less than as honest as we like to be. All right. We're going to encourage you in this digital era to use academic integrity. Focus on original work. Do your own work, right? We're expecting that you're going to have your own ideas and you're going to express it in your own works. Don't use AI for that purpose. Make sure you acknowledge the authors, proper acknowledgement of sources, give credit to the authors and ideas you use, cite the sources correctly and consistently. All right. Use the AI tools responsibly. We're not saying that you should not use AI. We're saying use it responsible. So we're expecting that you're going to use it ethically to support learning and not to use it to do your assignment for you to complete your assignment, but support your learning and to enhance or improve your productivity. Avoid plagiarism. Do not copy or represent someone else's work, right, as your own. Be honest and be transparent. And of course, follow the institutional rules. Your facilitators, the librarian will share with you the rules that will guide how you present your work in terms of the academic policies and the guidelines for your assignments. Follow the institutional rules. Now, what do you do when technology doesn't cooperate with you? All right? Don't become panic. Don't panic. There are simple things that you can do to help yourself, and there are persons you can reach out to for assistance. So first, check your connection. Check to see that you are, connected. Ensure that you have a stable internet connection. There are times that you may need to restart to refresh your page so that you can go again. You may need to try another browser sometimes or a device if you're experiencing challenge. We're going to encourage you to take a screenshot of the error so that if it is that you're going to get in touch with the online team, or if you need to make a report, you have evidence of it and you can show what the challenge that you're experiencing, and it will better enable those who are there to assist you to do so. contact the appropriate support services. And so when it is that you are having technical problems, and by technical problems, we're talking about the problems with your email and website, please contact the ICT. If you are having problems with your Arian, you'll contact Miss Carleen Hines. I just at this point want to point out that there is a difference between Moodle and Arian. You do not access the eCampus or Moodle through the Arian. There are two different spaces that you go to do that, right? If you are having problems with your Moodle and the Zoom recording, please contact the online team. How do you contact us? Our email is micoonline@themico.edu.jm, and there are two telephone lines that are assigned to the online department, and they are 876-860-3937 and 876-552-1288. So if you're having a challenge with Moodle and your Zoom recording and problem with the eCampus getting on and manipulating, please feel free to send us an email. We endeavor to respond to you as soon as possible. We usually try to do so within 24 to 48 hours. All right. So now we're going to look at the eCampus. I want you to meet the eCampus. So the Mico Learning Management System is what we call the eCampus. And the URL to get to the eCampus is ecampus.themico.edu.jm. ecampus.themico.edu.jm. When you go to the Mico eCampus, what are the steps that you're going to take to get there? First, you open your browser on your computer, whatever device you're using, and we recommend that you use Google Chrome. It provides a better support. You use the URL that I would have mentioned before, ecampus.themico.edu.jm. When you use the browser, it will take you to the page where you click the button below the picture shown there. So when you get to this space, you'll notice there's an arrow here where you see Google. It may not be very visible, but Google is a word there. That's where you're going to be clicking. That will take you to the space where you're going to log into the Mico. There are some persons that when you use the URL, right, it may take you to a space where you see forget password. That's fine. Click forget password, and then you click log on, and it takes you straight to this space. All right. You're expected to sign in or log on to the Mico using your Mico email. All other email will not work. So your personal email will not work. So you'll have to log into the Mico using the email that was generated by the institution and share with you. When you log on, right, you will be transported to this dashboard here. What you're going to do, you're going to go to the home site, and that's the little house here in the purple to my left, right? And you're going to click on the home site. Having done that, you will be taken to this space. Now, here there will be a box here that tells you to search for your courses. You can search for your courses using either of two ways. One, you can put in the name of the course, or you can search by the name of the lecturer. When you put in, say, the name of the course, it's going to take you to the page where you'll be able to identify the course and your facilitator. So here, you showing in the circle here, usually what comes up, you have the name of the course, the year of the offering, the semester that you're in, the name of the lecturer. It's important that you look at the name of the lecturer, because there are some courses where you're going to be having several lecturers who will be offering the courses. So if it is that you search for the course by the name of the course, look for the name of your lecturer. Having looked for the name of your lecturer, it's also important that you look at the day and the time that you are scheduled for that course, because there are some lecturers who will have more than one classes on different days and different time during the day. So it's important that you make sure that the class that you're logging in is the one that is assigned to you in terms of the name of the lecturer and the day when you should have that class and the time of day when you should have that class. All right, having clicked on the information here, the course information here, you'll be taken to enrollment options. Now, you're expected to enroll yourself. So you're going to see self-enrollment. And what you're going to do, you're going to click on enroll me, and then you'll enroll yourself. When you click on enroll me, your email will come up there and you enroll yourself. And then it takes you to this page where the first thing you see would be the code of the course. Each course that you will be doing or assign will be given a unique code. You see the course code, you see the name of the course, you see the year when the course is offered, you see the semester that the course is offered in, and of course, the name of the lecture, the day when the course is offered, and the time it is offered. For the most part, you see a wonderful face, whether it is handsome or beautiful, if it is a male or female, and a welcome message right there waiting for you. Beneath the welcome message, you're going to see some boxes, right? And that highlights different information. For course information, that's where you're going to find your course outline. So when you click on it, that's where the course outline is stored, the course delivery schedule. For some lecturers put the assignment there and the rubric as well. When I say assignment, the assignment sheet that tells you all the assignments for the semester and the rubric that may accompany the assignment. It's important that you pay attention not only to the course outline, but the course delivery schedule, especially when you're doing a blended course, because that's where you're going to see when it is you're going to have class in the synchronous session, having synchronous session that is in Zoom, or you're going to have asynchronous session when you're not going to be having your lectures in Zoom, but work will be placed on the Moodle platform, which you'll be required to do. All right, where you have course support, there are opportunities there for you to interface with your facilitator, and you're going to have the student exchange. There's an opportunity there. You're going to have an icon for assignment clarification. So if you have a question about your assignment, you can post it there and your facilitator will respond to it. You have what we call a chill out spot, and this is especially useful for those who are doing an entire program online where you will not be coming in to interface with your classmate, and so it's a spot for you to talk to each other, share ideas, and have academic discourse, right? And beneath that, well, you have what we call assessment activities. And here you're going to have information there that guides you as to what you can do to ensure that you do well online. There'll be an opportunity to check your learning style. There's a video that is located there that tells you how you navigate the Moodle platform. And so there are pertinent information there that will help you as you move along. Now, the synchronous sessions, that's where you're going to go to access the link for your Zoom to take you to the Zoom room. So you'll click on this and it takes you to your Zoom room, but we'll look at that. For the other icons, it represents the weekly activities that you have. So orientation would be the first week. We're not talking about this orientation, but your orientation to the course, the very first week of the course. So that will be, when you'll be meeting your lecturer for the first time and your classmate. And beyond that, you'll have the lesson, the topic for the lesson, and the date for the lesson to guide you as you go along. So you, depending on the week that you're at, follow the week and the date for the scheduled class time, you will click on the relative one, the one that is appropriate based on where you're at in the course, and you'll have access to information. Now, I mentioned before that the synchronous sessions are held in the Zoom room, and that you go right here over this section here where you have synchronous sessions via Zoom. You click on this box, it will take you here, right? And you have Zoom sessions and recordings. What are we talking about? The Zoom sessions is where you're going to be having your live classes. The recordings usually after the class would have been held. The recordings for that particular class, the weekly class will be uploaded onto the platform. So you're going to click here, live Zoom classroom, and it will take you to the Zoom space. When you click on it, you'll be expected to insert a password, which will be on the Moodle platform, so you will know what the password is. For this year, it will be Mico at 190, but it will be on the page. And you will be expected where you have open Zoom meetings. You're going to click open Zoom meeting. It takes you here where you're going to enter that password, Michael at 190. That's the one for this year. And then you're going to click join meeting, and it takes you into your Zoom room where you will have live session with your facilitator, sorry. So here I have again information regarding the accessing us or contacting us, the online team, the Mico online at the mico.edu.jm, and the numbers that are affiliated with the online department. No, I know I gave you a mouthful, and it may be difficult for you to remember all that was said in terms of navigating the online space, getting to the online space. So here is a QR code. I'm going to ask you to scan it so that you can use it. So you have it at your disposal, and it's a code that provides a video as to how the steps to access the Moodle platform. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to scan this code so that you can have it. All right, and this code will also be shared with your facilitators, your dean, and your heads of department. It will be shared with them, and I'm sure they will share it with you. Now, as I leave, I want to leave you with a statement that was posted at the entrance of a university in South Africa, and it says, "Destroying any nation does not require the use of atomic bombs or the use of long-range missiles. It only requires lowering the quality of education and allowing cheating in exams by students." You might have heard this saying before that patients die at the hands of the doctors, that doctors bury their patients. Buildings collapse at the hand of engineers who would not have followed or complied to the standards and ensure that the building would have been of a certain quality. Money is lost at the hand of economists and accountants who do not adhere to the ethics and the principles that are set in those environments to guide how things are to be done with integrity. Humanity dies at the hands of such religious scholars who are, of course, who cheat on exams, and they are not ethical in the way they operate. Justice is lost at the hands of such judges, those who don't value justice, and those who cheat, and those who are not operating with a sense of integrity. The collapse of education is the collapse of the nation. So it's important that you operate with a sense of integrity and that you do your very best to represent yourself. The Mico University College is a firm believer in nation building, and as such, we expect and will demand high quality work, academic integrity, humility, and professionalism. The Lord bless you. All your best on your journey here. I don't know if at this time there will be opportunities for you to ask questions, or it will be taken at the very, very end. But that's the end of my presentation. It was a pleasure.
I believe it would be wise for you to take the questions now, Mrs. Howell,
Okay.
while they may be fresh.
Yes. Are there any questions? I hope you got the opportunity to scan the QR code. And as I said, if not, it will be shared again.
How can we get a copy of this recording?
You will not get the copy of the entire session, this entire session. including this my presentation and all the presentations that happened today, or you're just talking the presentation I did? If it is a presentation I did, in a nutshell, the pertinent information would have been in the video that would have been shared.
I'm sorry, I just got on at the end where you had a QR code.
Okay, well, that will be shared. I can get it back up for you. That will be shared with your dean and your HOD. 1 second. Be shared with your dean and your HODs, but I'm putting it up again so that you can take all of it. Sorry, I was
Thank
just
you, Mrs.
checking.
Thank you, Mrs. Howell-Williams. I'm assuming also that since we're streaming live on YouTube, the person missed might be available for 24 hours at least. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. Perhaps one of our administrators may clarify for us. All right. Thank you so much, Mrs. Howell-Williams, for that informative presentation. Now, students, please take the time to become comfortable with the eCampus early. Familiarity with these systems can save you considerable time and perhaps little unnecessary panic attacks that can happen when assignments are due around mid-October thereabouts. Please ensure that even if you do not understand what was shared, everything that was shared this afternoon by Mrs. Howell-Williams, you follow scan the QR code, get the information. Even if after that you still need information, I know for sure that I know that there are faculty advisors, academic advisors assigned to each student, and so those persons might be able to assist you or point you into the direction of whoever on the Mico Online team should be able to best assist you. So we move, ladies and gentlemen, from navigating our virtual campus to another essential component of university success, the library, where you go to dive into the pages of these amazing texts that you will use to guide you on this journey. One of the major transitions from secondary education to tertiary education is learning to become a more independent researcher and learner. And many of us are afraid of the word research. I promise you, it does not bite. And we at the Mico University College aim to help you to see research in a different way. At this university, it is not enough to simply find information. You must learn how to locate credible information, evaluate it, use it responsibly, and acknowledge your sources. And Mrs. Howell-Williams would have alluded to this as well. The library will therefore be one of your most important academic resources to introduce you to the services, resources and to support that is available to you. I am pleased to welcome the librarian with the mostest. Is that how they say it? Mrs. Melanie Leach, our chief librarian. Mrs. Leach, over to you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Morrison. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining this session. Let me just add my welcome to the Mico University College. I know that it was previously done, but on behalf of the library, I just want to say welcome to the Mico, and I look forward to serving you along with my team. I hope you are already seeing my screen. From my end, it is saying that I am screen sharing, but I just want to ask this question as I have my slide up. When I say library, what comes to mind? Some persons may say books, Some persons may say research, or others may say quiet space. You know, everyone would have something different that would come to mind whenever they hear the word library. When I had my previous session, some persons may think, all right, fine, the library is this space where you have old books and there is a librarian in a corner researching something for maybe a student or a lecturer. Or there's someone else in the corner telling you, please, to be quiet and giving you that sound that we so often hear when we go to some of these spaces, might I add, back in the days. Now, the Mico University College Library is a modern space. This is one of the sections of the library. This is our learning commons in the background there. And in that space is where you can access our computer services. So when you talk about libraries and when you think about libraries, I want you to think of something new, something fresh, something transformational, a space where you can come to learn, a space where you can come to innovate, one where you can come to enjoy a good chat with your friends and meet up with your group assignments. So I want you to have that in mind as we go through this presentation. When you think of library, while I'm doing this presentation, I want you to think of the library as your study space. Maybe when your room is noisy, or maybe when you need that quiet time to reflect and to go through some serious assignments. I want you to think of the library as your tech hub for computers, where you can get access to computer services, where you can get access to your printing services to print your assignments. I want you to think of the library as your digital gateway. And your digital gateway, that means it is there to give you access to thousands of ebooks, not just the physical books, but we're talking about ebooks, ebooks that you can access from our databases. Our ProQuest database, we also have our EBSCO database and a number of others that I will share further in the presentation. Think also of the library as your research partner. When Miss Morrison made the introduction earlier, she did mention that the library is one key component of your studies. When you are going through your studies during this particular academic journey, remember that you're not doing it on your own. One of our key reasons of existence is to support all our stakeholders, not just our students, but also our lecturers and staff. So you can be rest assured that once you are on board doing your research, assignments, etc., or if you are in need of information, rest assured that the library is therefore here to support you. It is no wonder why, as part of our mission, it says here, the mission of the Mico University College Library is to provide access. That is one of the things that we ought to do and what we have been doing over these years. It is our responsibility to ensure that you get the support, the academic support that is needed to ensure that you do well in your studies. As I mean, no one enters university not to do well or to perform mediocre. It is why the library is here to ensure that you have that support system, providing you with the relevant information. Might I add, accurate information that is needed to support your assignments based on what is required by your lecturers. So once you are a part of any faculty, the library is here to give you that support based on your academic needs. Now I'm going to share in this short space of time 5 things every new student should know. First, it is important for you to know how to find books. What we have on our system, our online system, which is our online public access catalog, this is where we have the holdings of all the materials that we have in the library. You can go to this particular OPA wherever you are 24/7 and access this system to check whether or not the library has the particular book that you are looking for. So it is open. You don't have to be a member to access the catalog, but once you access through the Mico webpage, you're able to get access to our catalog. The second thing every new student should know is that it is important to go digital. We do understand that some persons may be in the virtual space, accessing some of their classes. And so it is important for us to ensure that the services that are available, if you come in the physical space, are also available if there are persons who are not able to visit the library space. And so we recognize that, especially with COVID-19, that really pushed our online services to another level. But we ensure that wherever you are, 24/7, you're able to access ebooks. You're able to access the databases. There are also past papers that you're able to access online. And the good thing is that you can access these resources anytime, anywhere. All right. So if you don't have a device, the library provides a technology loan service where you're able to borrow a tablet or borrow a laptop to be able to support, your assignments and all the group works that you're expected to do and to complete and submit. So you have that support in terms of technology backing, where we know how technology goes. Yes, I know you all here might have access to a laptop or a particular device, but something can go wrong at any point in time. We don't know. But rest assured that if something happens that neither of us planned for, the library is here to give you that technology support as well. Now, the third thing every new student should know is that you ought to know how to get research help. Now, I know that this is premature talking about research and what it is that you need to do, but I can guarantee just a few weeks down the line, you will require this particular service. Just bear in the back of your mind, have it somewhere, that whenever those assignments come up, whenever there is need for some kind of research, that there is research help available at the library. We do have our Ask a Librarian service where you can make a request to speak with a librarian, myself, or we also have another librarian, Mrs. Anissa Brown Lawrence. She can also assist in terms of giving you that support, going through with your questions, checking to find out if we have any resources available. And the good thing about it is that this particular service can be accessed in person or online. So just as we're talking now, you can book a one-on-one session through our research consultation service, and you're able to get that support based on the information that you require. The fourth thing every new student should know is that you ought to utilize our services. Now, the library has a number of services available to your disposal. Some of them I've listed here. We have our printing services where you can come to print your assignments. If you have your presentations, you need to get them printed. We do them for you as well. You can also come to access our scanning service, or photocopying, binding, or laminating. These are just some of the services that we have available at the library. Ensure that we coin them just for you. We work with our lecturers, so we know when it is that we will have, based on the schedule, based on the curriculum, where there'll be greater need in terms of printing services or research assistance. And so we work with each other to ensure that when you visit the space, that we have the service ready and available for you. And the fifth and last thing that I would mention this evening is that it is important for you to become a member of the library. when you become a member of the library, this is what allows you to get borrowing privileges. If you are not a member of the library, then you won't be able to borrow the resources that we have. And when you borrow the material, you get, say, for example, 2 weeks initially to have the book available at your disposal. But just say, for example, there's not a great need for it, or we have sufficient quantities in the library that you can get an extension, then that can be requested. You don't have to be a member to access like our online services, for example, the research consultation or the Ask a Librarian or the printing services. No, you don't have to be a member of the library to access those services. But we find often when students have a great need, that is the time they remember, oh, I need to join the library. And sometimes I would say it is too late, because then there are some of the materials that are available that you will need to answer your questions. They are not available anywhere. Yes, we know that the online space is there. We know that you can go to some of these sites and download the materials, but some of the resources that we have, one, they are no longer in print, but still critical to your development and critical to your learning. So I encourage you to become a member of the library. And to do that is very easy. All you need to do is to access our website. And I'm going to show you that at the end. You can access the library's website and you can click on Become a Member. You complete a simple form. And then once you submit, we do the verification. You are automatically a member once you get that reply from a staff. All right. And usually that is within 24 hours or less, depending on the time that you apply. Now, one of the responsibilities of the library as well at the Mico is that we are the administrator for the Turnitin online platform. Some of you may know about Turnitin and some of you may not, and that's fine either way. The Turnitin online platform is one such tool that you will use to submit your assignments. It will also help you to develop, to improve your writing. You know, when you, I hear Miss Morrison mention that the transition from high school into to college is somewhat different. All right, the writing is different. You're going to realize now that you ought to be citing more, ensuring that you give credit where credit is due. And so this particular platform will help you with that. I won't go too much into it and deep into it because we always have training sessions, and I also will share that a little further down in the presentation. But just to note, bear it in the back of your mind that the Turnitin platform is available. It is a subscription-based platform, one in which the Mico really put a lot into it, ensure that we subscribe. So it's a paid platform because we believe that our students, once they enters the campus and then when they leave, they ought to be at that standard, right? So just bear this in mind. Now, I'm also going to talk a little bit about artificial intelligence, and I won't even get into the definition because I know that based on all of what is going on now, I mean, artificial intelligence is everywhere. Not a new phenomenon, though, I mean, artificial intelligence has existed as far back as the 1950s, so it's not new. But it really come to the fore now because of the generative artificial intelligence and the capabilities that really provides. At the Mico, we embrace artificial intelligence. We do believe that in order for students to be marketable, in order for students to go in a classroom and own the space, in order for students to truly lead those who they will teach, they must be of faith. They must be artificial intelligence literate. They must know when to use it. They must know which tools to use. They ought to know how to use it responsibly. And so from ChatGPT came out, we were right on board. A matter of fact, one of the first university colleges to really bring it up and, to be talking about it and sensitizing people about ChatGPT and all of these things that, were happening. I can add at the time, because I know it is now public and no longer a secret. So what we did at the Mico is to ensure that we have a document to guide our students. A document also guides our instructors and even our staff. It is called the Statement on the Use of Generative Artificial Intelligence. Right? It was mentioned, the Moodle platform was mentioned earlier in the previous presentation. This document can be accessible on the Moodle platform, so you can get a better sense of what it is that is required of you and how the Mico wants all its stakeholders to utilize artificial intelligence. It's no secret. We want our students to be on top of the game. We want our students to be marketable. But at the end of the day, we believe that students ought to be responsible for their own learning, and they ought to use the platforms as a tool and not to replace learning. That is our stance where artificial intelligence is concerned. So this is also going to be a part of the training sessions that the library will have. So you hear more about AI and how you can use it, because if it is that you use it in a way where it is not approved by the lecturer, then there can be, repercussions for those actions. Just as you would say, for example, copy everything from a website, paste it on your document and submit that as your assignment. So we have rules in place for academic misconduct, but it's not about talking about the punitive measures. It's about looking to see how these tools that are available to us, how we can benefit from them and how we can utilize them to ensure that our learning is on point and we are able now to stand against scrutiny once we submit our work. All right, so be on the lookout for our training sessions. We talk a lot more about artificial intelligence. And so I encourage you to get involved. Be on board in terms of our training session, and I'm just going to share them here. So we're going to be sending them out via email. But we usually have a series of training sessions at the beginning of the semester, because we know, coming into the space that maybe some students would be wondering, all right, what is this about? How am I going to manage? The nerves might be there, and not to worry. We got you, all right? So from the 14th to the 18th, we'll be having a series of training sessions, sharing with persons how to understand the library. How do you utilize the library services? How do you access these services online? These are sessions that we will share with our students. We're also going to be talking about the databases. So the ProQuest and the EBSCO host that I mentioned, how do you really utilize them when you get your assignment? How do you navigate all of these tools to help you to get the information that you want? We're going to be talking about APA. And with APA, it's about citing, which means giving credit where credit is due. So if you use someone else's idea to support your thought, you ought to give credit. And we're going to be talking about that, because that is indeed the standard of writing that should be produced now that you are in an academic space. So not to worry about it any at all. We will share and go in great detail as to how you should cite your sources and when you need to cite your sources, and importantly, where to go to get that guidance. I did mention about artificial intelligence, and we're going to be talking about that in a number of the sessions that we are going to have. Our ebooks as well, we're going to be guiding you as to how to access the ebooks. How do you get access to these journal articles that your lecturers are going to ask you to produce? All right. So just jot them down once you're asked, and then you come to us and we will show you where to get the information. As you get involved, we want you also to utilize our support services, those online and those in person. If it is that you are not able to come, we really consider all our students. We do understand that some, may be working and they may not necessarily have the time to come to the physical space. We are still providing you with the services that we offer to those who come in the space, whether it means scanning some material and emailing that to you, whether it means scanning a section from a book that will help you to, provide that kind of support for your assignment, things like those. The library is here to give you that support. So as you think and as you have listened to this short presentation, I want you to remember that the library is your study space when you need, your room is too noisy or your surrounding is too noisy. Your library is that tech hub space where you can access computers. Your library is that digital gateway where you can access e-resources. You can access our digital library. You can access our databases that we have available. And we have quite a number of them that we will, go through once we go to the training session. And remember that your library is your research partner. When you get that assignment and you don't know where to start, I know your lecturers will give you the guidance as to what it is that they want, what it is that they expect, because it is important for you to ask questions. Don't just get an assignment and sit and, go ahead and start doing your research. No, you want to ensure that you are clear as to what it is that you are required to do. What is it that my lecturer really wants? And after you are clear with that, then you can do your jottings, or you can come to the library, book a session with the librarian, and we can go through it together. Your A means our A. All right? So we are here for you to give you that support. And at that note, I just want to say thank you so much for listening to me. My name is Melanie Leach, your chief librarian, one who will not just be here with you just for this little session, but I will be here to give you that support and that guidance that you need once you come on board. You're in the virtual space now, but when you do come to the Mico, I want you to visit the library and say, hey, miss, I was in the session that you did on Tuesday evening, all right? So looking forward to seeing you, looking forward to serving you as you make your mark to greatness, all right? Thank you for listening. And if there are any questions, I will take them at this time.
Thank you, Mrs. Leach, for such a useful presentation. Do you remember the first time I reached out to you for assistance? Christmas Eve 2023? Thank you so much, Mrs. Leach. Students, please make use of the library and your helpful, supportive librarian. I can attest to this. I can attest to this, not just because I'm her colleague. She's available to her students. Please don't text her on Christmas Eve, though. Thank you very much. Any questions for Mrs. Leach? Are our administrators checking the YouTube page for questions?
Yes, we are not seeing any at this time.
Okay, thank you so much. Think about it. Visit the library. Thank you again, Mrs. Leach. Students, please, I must repeat this. I strongly encourage you to not just think of the library as somewhere you visit when the assignment is due. You know, when the pot is about to burn, so to speak, make the library and its resources part of your regular academic life. Ladies and gentlemen, we now enter the final major segment of this afternoon's program, and I must add we have been doing an excellent job with time, or faculty presentations. These presentations are especially important because they will provide information about some of the courses and academic requirements that will form part of your undergraduate experiences. Now, our first presentation is in this segment will focus on general education and core language courses, info literacy, and digital citizenship. These areas are foundational to your development as a university student, and regardless of your area of specialization, your ability to communicate effectively, locate and to evaluate information and operate responsibly within the digital space or the digital spaces will significantly influence your academic, professional success. Mrs. Monique Brown will join us now. She is a lecturer from the Department of Language Literacy and Literature, and she will do the presentation on the general education courses offered by the department. Mrs. Brown.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Morrison. Good evening, everyone. I hope you are all feeling well. Great. I'll be presenting to you today on the general education courses being offered to our new students. So allow me to pull up my PowerPoint real quick. A moment, please. All right, here we have it. Okay, so I want to officially welcome all of you to the Mico University College. As a Miconian myself, it is a great honor to be here in this capacity. All right, so grammar can save lives or it can end them. It is important for us to be grammatically aware. Look at this image below, well, above right here, and tell me if you can dissect what's really happening. What's the reason why the caption says what it says? Grammar saves lives or ends them. Do you get it? If you get it, just use the thumbs up feature to say, yes, I got it. Grammar is important. I get it. All right. It says crocodiles don't swim here. All right. And the crocs are saying, we can eat dinner soon. I removed the full stop after crocodile. Instead of saying crocodiles don't swim here. All right. So we see that grammar is really important, right? And so many persons would have been asking themselves, why is it important for us to be proficient in English? What's the purpose of this whole shebang? But I will let you know that research has shown time and time again that it is beneficial to students. Right here we have some of the findings. We have Walio and Panmel 2021 who says there's a strong correlation between students' level of English proficiency and academic achievement. So there tends to be a correlation between how well students do and the level of their proficiency in English. All right. Goldstein and Perrin, they have said students may increase the likelihood of academic success by improving their literacy skills, reading and writing. So essentially, all of these researchers are saying that having English proficiency, it provides the baseline for you to be catapulted to extraordinary heights academically, right? It is a strong foundation upon which you build, All right, so it is indeed essential. Now we're going to look at the Gen Ed courses that are offered to new students for semester 1 of year 1. All right, and I want it to be made known that for semester 1, you will be doing 2 sorry, you'll be doing 2 Gen Ed courses. All right, so these are the options. If you are a student who did not secure a grade 1 in the CSEC English language, and you did not score above 70 in the English proficiency test provided by the Mico, you'll be required to do Foundation English as one of your Gen Ed courses. All right. On the other hand, if you are a student who would have passed the proficiency test and had a grade 1 in CSEC English, you will do Essentials of Communication instead. Additionally, our students who are post-diploma, meaning those who, I'm sorry, a moment, please. Mommy duties here, multitasking. All right. For those students who would have already gotten their diplomas and are coming back for their degrees, they would do Fundamentals of Technical Writing as one of their Gen Ed courses. All right. And then as it relates to foundational literacy, this is offered only to students who are language students, primary students, or early childhood and special ed specialists. All right. Those are the students who may do foundational literacy 1. All right. In tandem with that, depending on category you have fallen in, you will either do literacy instruction in content areas or conversational Spanish. All right, this is mandatory. You will choose between the two, all right, based on your situation. We know that for LIC, which is literacy instruction in content areas, all the departments, except for those that were mentioned earlier, are able to partake in that particular course. Okay, and then I'm going to look at semester 2 of year 1. For semester 2 of year 1, you will choose to do either literacy instruction in content areas or conversational Spanish. All right, so these two are recurrent, and you will choose between the two at one point or another. There's something, right. I want to add that an additional Gen Ed course being offered currently is information literacy, and it will be offered twice throughout year 1. All right. And so as it relates to the schedule, that will be given to you at a later date, but this is compulsory. And I would put it to you that for this course, it is self-paced, and so you won't necessarily have someone hovering over you to ensure you are doing what needs to be done. You're able to move at your own pace according to your own understanding, but you must complete it during year 1. All right, so let's go into the course overview. All right, so for Foundation English, which as said earlier, should be done by our students that do not have a grade 1 in English and did not score above 70 in the entrance English test. You'll be doing Foundation English, all right? In that course, you will be covering grammar, vocabulary development, reflective writing, and you will also be learning how to make effective oral presentations. So you'll be honing your confidence and, you know, your ability to express yourself. All right. On the other hand, Essentials of Communication, which will be done by our students who scored the grade 1 and have a score of above 70, sorry, in the entrance test. You will be covering reading comprehension, summary writing, and expository writing in this specific course. Now we go to Foundational Literacy, which as mentioned earlier will be done by our language students, primary ed, special ed students. You will be covering literacy components. You will learn how to do mini lesson design and how to execute those lessons. You will also be exposed to reading comprehension skills and strategies as well. Then we move on to literacy instruction in content areas. For that particular course, you'll be looking at text structures, comprehension study strategies, as well as STEAM approaches to education. And lastly, for the course Conversational Spanish, you will learn greetings, self-introduction, and you'll get a chance to explore the different Hispanic cultures as well. So I have said a mouthful just now. Do you have any questions at this time? The floor is open for you to voice any questions or concerns you may have. Yes, sweetheart. Okay, I'm not seeing any hands, so I take it we're all clear. Thank you for your attention and do enjoy the rest of the evening. God bless.
Thank you, Mrs. Brown, for that comprehensive presentation. I've just been informed that all the questions will be on YouTube. So the administrator who is manning or monitoring the YouTube chat will be answering those questions. So thank you very much to all the hardworking Mico representatives who are communicating with our new customers online. We value your time and we want to ensure that you have all the information. So Mrs. Brown, thank you so much for the comprehensive information you've shared about the language department's offerings. Students, I hope you have noted these courses. And if you were at the open day, or even if you weren't, you will have access to the passport. Of course, if you are a language specialist, you would have been given the passport, and passports would have been given from different faculties that that outline the different courses that are offered. We reiterate this information though, because we want you to be on the right track as soon as you get started. Of course, the requirements that were shared are intended to equip you with the competencies that you will use across the program. And for sure, we are looking, the language department is looking forward to serving you. I'm excited to meet all of you. Now we transition to the professional studies department. We continue, of course, to hear about the general education courses as prospective professionals, understanding the expectations attached to your preparation is extremely important. And your university experience is not only about acquiring the theoretical knowledge, it is also about developing the professional competencies, the dispositions and standards that will ultimately shape your practice as a teacher. To guide us through this area, I am pleased to introduce you to the wonderful Miss Ruth Ann Edwards, the acting department head of the Professional Studies Department. Miss Edwards, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Morrison. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I trust you're all doing well and that you are indeed hearing me. Permit me to use this opportunity to welcome you all to the Mico University College. As was introduced just now, I am Ruth Ann Edwards. I am the current department head acting for the Department of Professional Studies. This evening, I want to share with you what it is that we offer from this department, a critical department. The Department of Professional Studies is literally the hub of the University College that prepares students with the pedagogical skills that are necessary for effective teaching and learning. Now, all students are required to access courses from this department where they are prepared for all aspects of teaching and learning. The students' teachers are prepared for planning and execution. They are prepared for assessment. They're prepared for curriculum development and analysis, as well as integrating technology and managing their learning environments. And so once you interact with our department, we are expecting to touch on some critical areas as is projected on screen. We would like to tap into your leadership abilities. Once you interact with us within this department, you're going to be working collaboratively, with other members in your year group. We will also expect that you're going to be reflecting throughout the process whilst you are on this journey to collecting your degree. And it is important, as was iterated earlier, that we speak to the whole idea of ethics, moral judgment, fairness, equity, all of those areas you are expected to chime into once you do courses within our department. And as you navigate that 4-year journey, whilst you're passing through, we're hoping that you would be working on yourselves professionally. So we're looking to see that you would develop professionally while you navigate the courses within our department. And so the Department of Professional Studies offers a total of 9 taught courses. As seen on screen, we would be working with the areas of the emerging teacher, fundamentals of teaching, methodology, and technology integration. We will also be looking at focused observation, which is a taught practicum course. Once you tap into year 3, you're going to be working with courses such as Introduction to Assessment in Education, Introduction to Curriculum Studies, and Curriculum Studies Development and Management. And as you navigate that final lap, you're going to be working with classroom action research, as well as another practicum, reflective practicum action learning. We also offer one elective within this department. It is called Teacher Leadership. And so you do have the option of chiming into that course as well as you navigate your program. Now, it's important to note as well that the practicum unit here at the Mico University College is actually a part of the Department of Professional Studies. The practicum unit is led by the University College Practicum Coordinator, Dr. Marlene Lawrence Grant. Now, the department emphasizes the significance of practicum engagements as a critical component of professional preparation. Now, the practicum experience, it creates opportunities for students to observe, plan, apply, evaluate, reflect, and refine their practice as well as their pedagogical skills. The department encourages students to incorporate their coursework knowledge within the teaching and learning experience. So whilst you're going to be navigating other courses, whilst you're doing the practicum, it is important for you to understand which space and who would be responsible for this key area. All practicums that are executed while you're at the Mico University College as direct oversight through the practicum unit that is led by Dr. Lawrence Grant. And so whilst you may not necessarily tap into practicum in your first year, it's important for you to understand who is in charge of this particular area. Now, you have started this journey. We are going to be going on a road trip for definite. We're going to have 4 years, 4 laps working out on screen here, and you're going to be seeing where it is that you will have to navigate courses on a year-to-year basis within this department. For year 1, we're starting out strong with the course, The Emerging Teacher. And this course lays the foundation for all of the other courses that you're going to be working with in this particular department. Then you would move to the course Fundamentals of Teaching, which takes place in semester 2 of year 1. Once you have successfully completed and passed those 2 courses, then you have the opportunity to move to your next lap, which is year 2, where you're going to be working on the course Methodology and Technology Integration. You will also have to balance a practicum in year 2 here, which is the Reflective Practicum Focus Observation. Now, once you have successfully passed those 2 courses and you are about to journey over to year 3, it means that you're going to be taking on 2 new courses, Introduction to Assessment in Education, as well as Introduction to Curriculum Studies, which is Development and Management. Once you have successfully passed those courses, then you have the opportunity to move over to year 4. At year 4 is where you're going to be navigating classroom action research as well as reflective practicum action learning. Now, the courses that you're seeing on screen, they are taught courses. You will indeed have other courses or areas that you would have to balance with it. And depending on the program that you are aligned to, you may find that your department may have a substitute for one or the other. For example, those students who are enrolled to do guidance, they would not do the emerging teacher. For those students who are enrolled to do primary education, they would not do fundamentals of teaching. But certainly, as Mrs. Morrison shared earlier, you would have academic advisors who would walk with you along this journey. So you will not be navigating this space alone. You will definitely have help, so you know which courses you are indeed supposed to be doing at each semester. Now, as you start out year 1, I just want to share with you a quick summary of what that will look like for you in semester 1. You are going to be working on the emerging teacher, and this course will be delivered from September through to December 2026. The course has a total of 3 units as depicted on screen. And for unit 1, this is where we are going to be doing a whole lot of reflection. So you're going to be pausing to look at self. You're going to be understanding who you are as an individual. What does that mean for the 21st century learners? And what does that mean in terms of navigating the classroom? For Unit 2, we're going to be focusing on understanding the learners we teach. This is where we're going to be learning about the different theories and theorists, and how is it that we can utilize this sort of content to help us to navigate the 21st century classroom. Once we are through with Unit 2, we will move to Unit 3, where you're going to be looking at understanding the teaching profession. So you are here with us here at the Mico. What does it mean to become a teacher? What are the different bodies that you need to be knowledgeable of? What are the different ethical considerations that you need to be aware of? What are the different unions or groups that are available for you to join? We're going to touch base on all of that throughout Unit 3 of this course. Now, it's important to note that this course is a coursework assessed course. It means we do not have any exams aligned to this course. You will have 2 pieces of assignments. Assignment number 1 is where you're going to be working in groups, and the task will be given to you to execute an educational symposium. The theme will be crafted by members of the department, and this will be shared with you, and you are going to be working on the symposium whilst navigating the 3 units. For assignment number 2, this is where you're going to be working individually. And at this point, you are going to be working on a growth and development portfolio. So you only have 2 pieces for this semester for the course, The Emerging Teacher. Now, once you have successfully passed the Emerging Teacher, it is going to allow you to move over to our second course, which is Fundamentals of Teaching. Fundamentals of Teaching, on the other hand, is actually an exam course, and it comprises of a total of 4 units. For Unit 1 is where we're going to be exploring the concepts of teaching and learning. This is where we're laying the foundation. We're talking about the classroom. We're talking about those key concepts that you need to get in order to navigate the rest of the course. For Unit 2, we're going to be looking at teaching and learning and the theories that are related to the principles for practice. For Unit 3, we're going to be diving into the development of models and instructional approaches. And then we wrap up the course with Unit 4, looking at effective planning, implementation, and assessment. Now, as I said before, this course that you will take on in January, which is semester 2, this course is going to be an exam course. And so we have 2 assignments that are assigned for you to work on. Both of them are actually group work assignments, and you will sit the exam as an individual piece. And so certainly you have the opportunity there to earn the maximum amount of scores before you go into the actual exam. All right. Now, that is just a quick summary of what your first year will look like working with this department, the Department of Professional Studies. And so certainly, I will summarize the presentation by pretty much saying to you, we are available. If you have any questions, any concerns, feel free to reach out. You can contact me directly by email or by calling or WhatsApp message. And certainly when you get to that level of practicum related matters, then you may send an email to Dr. Lawrence Grant, and her email address is noted on screen. Now, if you have general concerns or a random thought that you just want to get some feedback on, you may send an email to our department's office email account, or you may call and you may speak to the administrative assistant. So the Department of Professional Studies, ladies and gentlemen, it is dedicated to equipping future educators with the pedagogical knowledge, the practical skills, and the reflective capabilities necessary for effective teaching and learning. Now, through rigorous coursework pieces that you're going to be engaged in and meaningful practicum experiences that you're going to take on, we are expecting that this is going to foster the sort of development of competency, innovation, and reflective practice that we want to see our educators executing. And so that concludes my presentation. Thank you so much. Mrs. Morrison,
I am here. I'm
and
here.
now over to you, my dear.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ms. Edwards, for that presentation. We have been quite efficient with time, and now I checked the program and realized why we have been extra efficient because I missed a part of our program, but that is okay. Mrs. Boral Ingram and I will speak after this. Ladies and gentlemen, again, my name is Salika Morrison, lecturer in the Department of Language, Literacy, and Literature. It was my pleasure to moderate this, or 2026-27 new undergraduate student orientation. Before we close, I would like to express sincere appreciation to all our presenters for taking the time to share their knowledge and guidance with our incoming students. This is almost 7 p.m. and we understand that we are all at different places right now. We have different things to do or backgrounds. For many of us, new mommies have a lot of things going on, right, Mrs. Brown? To Dr. Albert Benjamin, thank you for the official welcome of our students. Mrs. Jacqueline Howell Williams, thank you for guiding them through the Mico e-campus. Quite a detailed and significant presentation because it is one of our main tools for instruction. Mrs. Leach, thank you for introducing them to the invaluable resources and services of the library. And I really hope our students will make use of the blessing that is the library and the librarian. To Ms. Brown, Mrs. Brown, thank you for helping our students to understand the general education core language courses offered by the Department of Language, Literacy, and Literature. And Ms. Ruthen Edwards, thank you. We just listened to that presentation from her, acting head of the Professional Studies Department. To our new students, I would like to leave you with this thought. Do not approach university simply as a place to have come to earn a degree. Approach it as a place in which you will become. And I must, as usual, insert this plug. An opportunity for you to become will be in November when the houses will compete for the coveted prize. I've been told that our Nathan Brissett and Leslie Enriquez speech competitions have been merged, and that promises to be an explosive event. Keep your ears on the ground, and remember, if you're not a Buxtonian, there's something wrong. Ask them why. Because if you are a Buxtonian, it means you are foundational. It means you are a winner. It means you reflect the sunlight. So keep your ears on the ground for that. We're not just about academics. And yes, academics is the core of what we do. but who you become as educators are the people who will go out there and engender the excitement for learning and being able to pull from your students their own creativity, their critical thinking skills. And that is what we do at the Mico. We do that for you so that you can do it for your students. Ladies and gentlemen, you will develop knowledge here, certainly, but you will also develop your voice, your discipline, and your professional identity. Your relationships, definitely, and your understanding of what you can contribute to the world. Welcome to the Mico University College, the premier teacher training institution in the Western Hemisphere. You are now a Miconian. Enjoy the rest of your evening.